Sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com.
The Uninvited. It was written and directed by Nadia Connors, and this is her first narrative film. She co-wrote the environmental documentary The 11th Hour with Leonardo DiCaprio. This movie has some kind of heavy hitters, I think, for a film festival. Pedro Pascal, Elizabeth Reeser, Walton Goggins, who's actually her husband, Nadia Connors' husband, Lois Smith, and Rufus Sewell. It made its debut at South by Southwest. So this film takes place over the course of one night. It's in one house, and it was a Hollywood party. The husband, Sammy, who's played by Walter Goggins, he's an agent. He's a Hollywood agent. And his wife, Rose, who's played by Elizabeth Reeser, was a former actress. And before the party even begins, a confused elderly woman, Helen, played by Lois Smith, appears. She's disoriented. She pulls up to the house thinking it's hers. She had lived there, but she's thinking she still does. And she's the uninvited. She's the uninvited guest. And basically she causes the characters to reflect on the course of their lives have taken, their significance, their relationships, and it's kind of like both Sammy and Rose are going through a bit of a midlife crisis, but really the strong theme is, and I'm even quoting what Nadia Connors said before the film because she was there. She said, really, of all the roles that women are asked to take, they still feel like they're disappearing. So it was pretty heavy on that. Rose and Helen are really like mirrors of each other and reflections of each other, reflecting the past, the present, the future. It was really great. I mean, this film flows beautifully. The house is gorgeous. It's like, I'd say like a Spanish style, with the stucco, and it's very soft colors. And it just feels very intimate, feels like everything's like candle. I mean, in the beginning it's like daylight, but it gets darker and it's beautiful. And they have humor, interwoven into it, obviously, and it's like perfect timing. And Lois Smith to me really shined. I mean, she gave me chills. I'm getting them right now because there was a scene where she's just looking around and the music they chose and her looking and you can see her like remembering things and taking it in and being surprised. I mean, I couldn't believe the emotion she evoked just from not a word, just looking around. She was so great. Her searching eyes, her pauses, everything. And it touches on the uncomfortable truths of aging and motherhood and feeling lost and alone, even when you're surrounded by people. I mean, this was a Hollywood party going on, but still you felt that loneliness that the characters felt. Um, and a big thing too that they talk about is like struggling with being good with who you are, being okay with who you are, which I think a lot of people struggle with. Um, yeah, and I don't want to give too much away, but it was so I was definitely bawling through this. I think I cried through every movie, through almost every movie I saw.
Was this movie a COVID child? Was this something that they did during the pandemic?
Someone did point out, and it felt like this, that you were watching a play. There was this feeling of that, and no wonder because she had started off writing it as a play. Then COVID happened, and she thought, well, how am I going to reach audiences? Because no one was seeing plays and all everything. So she's like, I'm going to make it a movie. But I'm not exactly sure, yeah, what year they actually filmed it. But yeah, it did come out of that.
There's a couple of things that I've noticed in the festival season, and one of them seems to be, and I don't know if it's just this time of year and people trying to get Oscars, basically, but I feel like this season, and even at Tribeca, we've seen a lot of movies that are just acting and like really strong scripts and not car chases and explosions. And I think part of that has to do with coming out of COVID and writers' strikes and all that stuff. But I also think that there is a need for these things to get away from superheroes and action and,
End of
y-
the world stuff.
yeah, and $300 million,
Right.
movies. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're returning to like the heyday of indie film in the 90s, but a lot of these films feel like that. There's like this film feels like something I probably saw, 25 years ago. I don't know how well they're going to do, like box office wise, or if they'll even see a box office.
There's only going to be two one weekend premieres, one in LA, one in New York, and then it's going to go on demand.
This is the BTRP Media Network.